You throw over $1,000 a month into local wishing wells.
Of course, you idiot, because I'm wishing for more money.
This is the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenberger and Bart Steindler.
All right, welcome back to Keeping Your Money Show. Jamie Westenberger, joined as always by Bart Steindler. Just tuning in, we've been talking about why you should not get advice from a magazine, why many financial advisors have their own financial advisor, and why Roth IRAs could be great for your kids. And I would say the subtitle of that one is why you need to talk to professionals about things because you might not know they exist or even think about them. Because, I mean, that's the truth, right? I mean, if you're not dealing with this stuff all the time, I mean, I was in this business for a number of years, quite frankly, before someone said, hey, have you ever looked at doing a Roth for your kid? And I was like, no, but oh my God, that's a great idea. Like, I mean, even professionals, it takes years of experience to come up with everything. You know, I mean, there's a lot to do in this business. We were just talking about a 401k plan with one of the advisors that works here. And, you know, there were a couple of things that came up that he was kind of like, wow, you know, I've been doing this for a decade, but I've never seen this. You know, this is a different curveball that I've not seen before.
I think if people that were not in this business spent like a week or a month shadowing somebody who is in this business, they would be amazed at how much is done behind the curtain that they have no idea that's going on.
Well, and don't you think too, like, I wonder, I'd love to spend a week in a single advisor office where it's just one person all by themselves. Because I don't know. We bounce so much stuff. I learned so much. I learned stuff from advisors that have only been licensed for a couple of years because they're so eager for learning. They'll go find some oddball, weird thing that, you know, we've never even heard of. You know, I mean, it's like the interaction between an office full of financial people is so rewarding overall. Like, it's got to be really tough to just be a singular financial advisor sitting in an office trying to come up with all the ideas all on your own.
Especially when you throw in having an attorney and a CPA in that same office.
Right.
And then the conversations you have about the different situations, the learning curve expands exponentially. It's just amazing and very interesting.
You know, Steve and I, you talk about that. It's a perfect example of that. A gentleman called in a couple weeks ago, has a lawsuit that is being settled, and he wanted to get familiar with us and talk to us about maybe handling the money. That was a pretty sizable amount of money that's coming. And in talking to Steve, our CPA, Steve Brohl, Steve was breaking down for me the differences in how the money is paid on what the taxability of it is, which I didn't realize. If it's called pain and suffering, like, you know, when they'll say, like, you got $2 million for loss of work and you got $1 million for pain and suffering money isn't taxable in most instances. If it's a replacement of what you would have made for work, that's taxable. Well, that has a huge impact on this guy who's coming to this settlement to try and push more of that into pain and suffering, obviously, right? Because he would pay less taxes on it.
Yeah, and it probably doesn't matter to the people who are going to be paying it.
I would guess their tax write-off ability is tied into whether it's taxable to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting. It's not something that, I mean, it's not like I'm an attorney dealing with medical lawsuits all the time or a CPA that deal, you know, so having that other person in the room, you know, you really do kind of
being able to draw from different pools of knowledge. Right. And then also when we get a situation, a lot of times before we advise on how we think a person should handle a certain situation, we go and do our own research. Yep. And so you learn case by case. And so, you know, everyone's background and case loads have been different and the experience have been different. And, you know, that's why it's great to have an office with so many bright people in it and that have different areas of expertise.
Absolutely. So let's talk about startups. I think startups, home runs, the next best thing, the next big thing, like all of those can apply to this category. And we've talked about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. We've talked about marijuana stocks. You know, we've talked about some of these things that regularly come across as this, you know, we in as human beings, want to be the guy that can tell the story about the home run.
Absolutely.
Right? How many times does a historic sports story go something like this? And then I walked and the winning run scored and we won the game. Like, you never hear that story. It's the home run story that matters, right?
You just envision Kurt Gibson limping out of the dugout when he was playing for the Dodgers, and Tommy Lasorda I think Tommy Lasorda was on the bench, and he barely can walk, and then he hits a home run and struggles around the bases to win the game in a playoff or World Series game.
Well, in thinking about baseball, if a guy got 4 hits in a game, right? I mean, it would be a newsworthy story. He went 4 for 4.
Yeah.
If he did that 2 games in a row, he went 8 for 8. We'd really hear about it. It'd be national news then, right?
Yep.
If a guy walked 4 times in a game or 8 times over 2 games, it'd probably get talked about, but not nearly in the way that the hitter did, right?
Right.
Yet they accomplished the exact same thing.
Yeah, they got on base 8 times in 2 days.
Right. But it's exciting when it's the hit, right? It's exciting when it's the home run. Everybody wants to be the person that can say, I bought this stock when it was 38 cents and it's $3,000 a share now, right?
Yeah.
Or, the Bitcoin phenomenon. I got this Bitcoin when it was 100 and now it's 20,000, Yeah. But the reality is you're much more likely to also be the person who loses everything in those scenarios, because we get kind of horse blinders on, right? We're so excited to be the guy that found something no one else saw, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why investing in startups, the next big thing, can be so dangerous to your overall financial security, because many times we don't even do the proper due diligence that we should, because we're so excited about being even offered the opportunity. It's almost like, well, I got offered a chance to get in on this startup. Like, that in itself is almost the whole sales pitch, right? They called you.
Yeah, here's another scenario. Someone is maybe 10 years behind where they should be on saving for retirement.
Right.
And then they come in, they say, okay, I know I should have started this 10 years ago or 15 years ago, but I didn't. And so now I'm gonna do it, but I want to invest really aggressively to help make up for the fact that I'm starting late.
Or in that same scenario, I got out of the market in 2009. Mm-hmm. I never got back in. I realized I should have. Now I need to be super aggressive because I want to retire in 5 years.
Right.
Recipe for disaster.
Right. So for the person who's 10 or 15 years behind and they should have started then, you're doing the right thing to get in there and get started, okay? But the way you need to get started is probably to look at your life and figure out how you can put more away on a regular basis and not ratchet up the risk level of how you're going to invest. Because when you ratchet up that risk level, when you go looking for that big home run that's going to take you to the promised land, so often it doesn't work out, and then you end up in a worse case than you were before.
Well, and I think a great analogy for that is if you were going to drive from Grand Rapids to Detroit, okay, and you got in your safe 5-star crash-rated SUV, you got on the expressway, you set your cruise control for 5 miles over the speed limit, you're going to make it to Detroit in a little over 2 hours, right? Mm-hmm. You just are. I mean, there may be traffic. You may get there a little bit later than you expected. You may even get a flat tire that you'd have to replace, but you'll still get there, right?
Yep.
The other option is you could get on a really fast motorcycle and you could go 150 miles an hour down the highway. And if you made it, you might get there in an hour and 20, hour and 30 minutes, right?
Yep.
You might get there in an hour, But the likelihood that somewhere between here and Detroit, you're going to hit gravel, wet pavement, some idiot that pulls in front of you, just lose control completely, get arrested and put in prison for being a nut job. All of those things are greatly exaggerated when you decide to get on that motorcycle, right? Yep. It's the same thing. When you roll the dice and go into something highly speculative, there are people that come out on the other end of that very wealthy. But the vast majority of people are not those people. the vast majority of people wipe the motorcycle out around Lansing and don't ever recover from it.
Yeah.
Are never able to get back up and fix things. So when you're tempted to try and hit the home run, remember, there are a lot more wealthy people in this country who did singles and doubles and took that SUV nice and slow all the way down to Detroit, and we would be happy to help you figure out how to do that. All right, coming up, we're going to wrap up the show and send you into the weekend right here on the Keeping Your Money Show.
Is your 401k sturdy enough to help support your retirement goals? The Keeping Your Money Show has a team of advisors that will help you size up the assets currently in your 401k and explore asset allocation based on your goals. Call the Keeping Your Money Show today at 1-888-98-MONEY or visit keepingyourmoney.com to learn how you can start solidifying your foundation for a strong retirement plan.
This is the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenbarger and Bart Steinler.
All right, welcome back to the Keeping Your Money Show. Jamie Westenbarger, joined as always by Bart Steinler. If you're just tuning in, you missed the show. Come back an hour earlier next week.
Yeah, this is on Saturdays in the fall. This is part of the regiment to get ready for the college football game.
Absolutely. You get up, you have breakfast, you have coffee, you turn on BBL, you listen to us tell you about what you need to be doing with your money. Then if you got to fix up some stuff in the yard real quick, do that. And then, you get the dogs going on the grill. I mean, it's a win-win all the way around.
Yeah. Or if you're driving to the game,
sure,
to get to the potluck party, the tailgate party.
The potluck party.
Yeah, whatever.
You do a lot of tailgating, don't you?
Yeah. Well, if everybody brings something to the tailgate, it's a potluck.
Yeah, if you are driving to your tailgate, though, you can hear BBL all the way to East Lansing.
Yep.
And you can hear it until about Brighton if you're on your way to U of M.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can definitely pick it up far and wide. So we talked about an example of terrible advice that we found right on the web that you could read and hopefully never follow. Why your financial advisor probably has a financial advisor, why you definitely should have one, why Roth IRAs can be a great idea for kids, and why investing in the next startup or that home run could really be a disaster for your finances. If you missed any part of the show, you can find it on our website. Just go to keepingyourmoney.com. You can also find it on all of our podcast partners, iTunes, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. If you want to give us a call, 888-98-MONEY is our number. Somebody answers that phone 24 hours a day. That's 888-986-6639. Maybe you need a second opinion. Maybe you need a first opinion. We are always here to help. First appointment and consultation is always absolutely free of charge. So I'm going to tell you like I tell you every week. You would never go on vacation. You'd never go on that drive to Detroit. I was just talking about it in the last segment.
Right.
Without some idea of how you're going to get there. Even with all the construction and everything going on, the GPS has been my friend lately. Even when I know where I'm going, I put the GPS in so it can tell me like, oh, you don't want to go that way, man. There's a huge backup there. We're going to reroute you here. Having a financial advisor, having an income plan for your retirement. How are you going to draw income out of all these assets that you've acquired? Having that is kind of like having GPS. You need a roadmap for your retirement. You need GPS for the income plan. How do you get it out? Maybe you're going to do it this way, but whoa, wait a minute. Something changed a little bit. Market went down. Your health decreased. You retired 2 years earlier and you thought you were going to. Now we got to reroute. We got to try and figure things out again on how we're going to make sure that you're successful. Let us help you with that. If you do not have one, we would love to help you. 888-986-6639. For everybody here at the Keeping Your Money Show, Dan Van Singel, Shane Thorson, Nate Boonstra, Troy Fox on the Lake Shore, our wonderful producer, Laura Ridenauer, my compadre, Bart Steinler. I'm Jamie Westenbarger. Have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for listening.
Registered representatives offer securities through Securities America, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Financial advisors offer advisory services through Securities America Advisors, Inc. Forest Hills Financial, Inc. and Securities America are separate entities.